Battery exhausted.
Oh, battery exhausted, bitch. We forgot to turn on the damn microphone, bitch. What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It still feels really amazing to say that. If you guys haven't subscribed already, I would really love if you guys would subscribe. This video is about to be epic. It's like a tell-all, bitch. If you guys have been following me for a while, you might have seen my IGTV video coming out story where I tell you guys what it was like coming out, what it was like growing up. I did not have it easy whatsoever, but I was also confused, honey. I mean, it wasn't easy. It wasn't a walk in the park. I think in the last video I did, I might have missed a few crucial parts that hopefully can help you guys and your own journey. So let's get it poppin'. First of all, I want to say that if you are someone that's struggling to come out, or someone that is confused or lives in a place that you don't feel safe, just remember one thing, that it's your journey, it's nobody else's, and there's no time limit on it. It's really when you feel like you're ready. Of course, you guys can comment below and let me know if you have any questions. Basically, when I grew up in Virginia, and you know, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's a super conservative area, and you know, I was born in 1992. There wasn't Instagram, so I can't even imagine how hard it is today if it was hard for me back then. I am a child of divorce, and my parents were divorced really early on, which was a struggle for me. So I was dealing with all these different kinds of emotions every single day. Just made everything so much more complicated because I felt like I needed to be there for my mom, and I also need to be there for my sister. And there wasn't really any time for me to sit down with myself and figure out who I really was and what I really wanted from my own life and my own happiness. I struggled really hard because I was not only struggling with who I was as a gay man, but I was also struggling to figure out who I was as a person and where I fit in. And the truth of the matter is I never really felt like I fit in anywhere growing up in middle school or high school, when I was really kind of dating women. And next thing I know, I had to switch schools. So I went to a Catholic private high school in the beginning of my high school career. Bitch, I was going to a Catholic school. You know I was gonna burn up when we went to confession and shit. I wasn't gonna be telling them what was happening. Right when I got there, I was tagged as this gay, flamboyant, only friends with girls guy. So I felt like I had a target on my back from the get-go, honey. Right when I walked into that school, I was labeled immediately as that guy. That made it even harder because I felt like, okay, I'm definitely not ready to come out. Am I gay? I've never had a sexual experience at this point. So from there, I just started making up lies. Tons and tons of lies. This is so embarrassing, I made a fake MySpace page of a girlfriend that I had. Bitch, she didn't exist. I Googled her damn images. Her name was Britney because I loved Britney Spears so much. That's how bad that was. It was painful because, like, obviously no one believed it, but I would like show people in like gym class the page of Britney, and like, lo and behold, there was no Britney bitch. There was only the Britney bitch that I was playing and dancing in the mirror to. People just made it even harder on me. You know, people were like, what school does she go to? I was like, she goes to another school, you don't know her. Gym class was really hard for me because I didn't want to ever be around guys. I never stayed with any sports because sports just seemed like, why am I going to be in the locker room with a bunch of guys? I didn't feel comfortable. I always wanted to be with my girlfriends. And so I quit every sport that I did, and I was like, this is miserable. I need to get out. This isn't helpful. This isn't mentally okay. I would go to school and I was brutally tortured. I was like, it's cool because I have this girl to go to school with. And then she sort of became friends with the bullies and the people that were bullying me. So from there, I was like losing my best friend, the only girlfriend I had at that school. And then I was like, okay, honey, I am gonna start experimenting. Because I would watch porn and I would only watch like gay porn. And I was like, maybe I'm not gay, maybe I'm just whatever. And then I experienced with a guy, and I was like, definitely love the dick, period. But I still wasn't ready to come out at that point at all whatsoever. I didn't even have friends, so how, you know, where would I start? My parents were going through a divorce, it was tough. Then I was like, I gotta get out of this school. So I begged my parents to get out of this Catholic private school that was so miserable for me. My parents would not let me damn budge. Being the crafty guy that I was like, I have to get kicked out because like the school kicked people out for anything and everything. So I was at lunch one day and I stole a damn Gatorade from the cafeteria in front of the headmaster, like making sure that he saw me, and he was like, did you like pay for that? I was like, no. Long story short, my parents were like, you're getting out of school, we're gonna send you to this correctional facility, like correctional school. Never ended up going to the correctional school. Got my way and went to public school. Thinking that public school was gonna be my big out and gonna be so much better for me, it ended up being twice as brutal. I was like the new kid all over again. You know, I'm starting off at a new school and it was not easy. I was called names in the hallway. I was the target. I just felt like I had another target on my back and I was like, I cannot win here. I tried to hide it by kind of like masking my emotions and acting like, kind of like playing along. People will be like the popular girls in school, you know who you are, bitch. They come up like, are you gay? Like your voice. Because honey, I've had this voice since I was in kindergarten. So everyone kind of played off that as like, you must be gay because you have this voice. And I would just laugh, but then it started getting more intense because I wasn't showing people my reaction. And like, that's something that I also learned. Don't give people the reaction that they want. They want you to be angry. They want you to be upset. And what you need to do is just move on and focus on, I wish I would have known this. I tried to fit in, I tried to deny it, I tried to act macho again, but I kind of just hung out with my girlfriends, and the next thing I know, I'm in 10th grade and my mom is picking me up from school and like the bus line, all the buses are diagonal. I remember this so clearly. The last people that I wanted to know that I was being made fun of and bullied were my parents, especially being gay, because they had no idea. And I was thinking if they heard these rumors, they would be like, why would people think you're gay? And then they would start questioning it. So I was terrified. I was walking to my mom's car and this guy yelled out the bus window, faggot, as loud as he could. And like people were, it was the most embarrassing thing. But this was happening all the time in school, in the hallways. People literally would yell out in the hallways, faggot, homo. That's one thing, but having your mom hear it, you know, I got home and I just started crying in my room and I was like, how do I fix this? My mom and I never spoke about that one time that she heard that guy call me a faggot out the window. So I was like, maybe she didn't hear it. We'll see later on in the story. The plot thickens, bitch. So we're talking like 10th grade. I was just confused. I was hooking up with girls. I liked girls, but I was like, do I like girls because they're pretty and they're my best friends, or do I like girls because they're sexual? I, at that point, had had my first sexual experience with a guy and a girl. I was like, maybe it's just a phase. Maybe I do like girls. A few months later, I got in my first relationship with some guy who lived in my neighborhood who I'd been having sex with at that point. I was like, okay, I'm definitely gay. Fast forward to 11th grade was my first like experience. I was going out young, honey. I lived near DC, so I was going to Town, which is a gay club in DC. I grew up super fast. So that this time I'm like, all right, I'm starting to go to DC. I'm starting to go to gay clubs. I have a fake ID. I was meeting up with guys. You know, I was a little promiscuous. Just exploring my sexuality. At this point, I knew I was gay. Flaming, bitch. Just kidding. I would like tell my parents that I was going to high school parties. Bitch, I didn't have any friends in high school. I was going to DC out to like parties and clubs and use my fake ID. And so then during that point over the summer, I did have a group of girlfriends from high school, and I was real drunk one night after the one high school party that I went to probably the whole year. And I was in the back of my friend's Mustang, I remember so clearly, and I just started bawling out, crying, and I told my girlfriends, I'm gay. I am gay. They weren't as supportive as I would have thought because they had been kind of holding it down for me behind my back at parties, and when people would bring up that I was gay, they always sort of like knew, but they would lie to me, and they were like, well, if he says he's not gay, he must not be gay. We had had the conversation because everybody assumed it. So they were like, we've been standing up for you this whole time. Like, why didn't you just tell us sooner? And, you know, I explained to them that I wasn't ready and I wasn't sure. And I told them about my boyfriend at the time. And then they were super supportive. And slowly the school started finding out, but I didn't outwardly tell anyone. I was just like, okay, call me a faggot, bitch. I'm wearing bright blue teal shoes and a damn pink bandana. Like, you just knew. Because I started getting more comfortable with my style. I started getting more comfortable with fashion. And I started to just kind of like show who I really was on the outside because the inside was sort of coming out. Then it was my birthday, summer going into 11th grade, and I was so, oh, I just got chills. I just got chills. I just remember being so unhappy. Oh my God. I get so like emotional thinking about this just because like during this time I was dealing with so many other things. I could never be myself around my family, which was really hard for me because I didn't know how to act around them, and I felt like where is it that I'm ever going to be able to be myself? And I couldn't find that place. And it was the most miserable feeling because I wasn't sure where I fit in anywhere. Are my parents going to support me, or are they not going to support me? Are you going to make this choice for you? Because it's your life, whether they support you or not. If this is going to make you feel better, I'm damn sure going to try and see if it does. So on my birthday, I called my mom. I told her I have something to tell you, and I was bawling, crying. At that point, I came out and I was like, I'm bisexual. I love guys and I love girls, because I wasn't sure I was too scared to say, I know I'm gay, and I wasn't, still I wasn't 100%. And then my mom was like, basically she was like, honey, I know. Like, I've known for a really long time. She accepted me right away. And I was like, don't tell anyone. Don't tell dad. Don't tell my sister Michelle. Just keep it under wraps. And then I went to DC and met my boyfriend and was like turning up because I felt like I had really had a huge weight lifted off my shoulders, but I still had so many other people to tell. Coming out to your mom is a little different than coming out to your dad always, because you think your dad wants you to be like this macho man, and I'm his only son. So I was like, is there going to be disappointment? Long story short, I was very, very lucky. Except my mom told my dad, because my mom was like, I knew he wouldn't care. You were stressing. The week after I came out to my mom as being bisexual, my mom was like, do you want to talk about the phone call? Like, I said, of course I want to talk about the phone call. But that's just what I think. And she's like, do you think you're gay or whatever? I was like, okay, I'm gay. Like, let's just get it on the table. So when I went to my dad, I was like, I think I'm bisexual. And he's like, you're gay. And I was like, wait, what? He was like, your mom told me. And he was like, I don't care. He was like, we've known since like forever. So they were really nice for giving me that acceptance. I had this huge weight and epiphany come off my shoulders. I went back to school and I was like, okay, actually, it's time for me to come out to everybody that's bullying me. It's time to like, yeah, I am gay. And what are you gonna do about it? Stand up for myself in the way of being like, this is who I am and I'm willing to accept it. But what's wrong with that? So honey, I went back to school. I started dressing with tighter jeans. Because for a while I was trying to like do like the like straight guy saggy pants thing, not a good look for me. I decided to like just dress like I wanted to dress, and like I got really into fashion. People started to catch on, girl. I started wearing like tank tops to school. I was like everything just out the window straight, like bye. Got a whole new wardrobe. And at that point I think that people started to be like, okay, like is he gay or he is? But then I joined the high school fashion show. And I was the director of the fashion show that year. I killed it. I was like going to Jessica McClintock, bitch, which is like this like prom dress. That was like the theme of the fashion show that year. And I really just got into like my own, and I started to see my bigger vision of what I wanted for my life. So I was like, screw everyone else in high school. Like, I have a plan for myself. And I really came into my own, like end of 11th grade, early 12th grade, being the director of the fashion show, letting the school know that I wasn't afraid to be out and I wasn't afraid to be proud. And I was like, the only gay one in my school. And my school was 7th through 12th grade. Even though my coming out story, being able to come into my own, was not traditional in a sense. And I think it sounds a little bit easier than most people, because people think coming out for families that don't accept you is a lot harder. But coming out in general for yourself and going through the process is a lot. And mentally, it's just a journey that's not easy, whether your parents accept it or they don't. For you to accept it and for you to be out and proud and to be yourself, and it's a long journey. And like, after I came out, I was like really, really in tune with who I was, and I was getting to learn a lot about myself. I think other people saw that, started asking me questions about how they can come out and how it is to be openly gay. And like, honey, I was starting to bring some people that were in the closet that wanted to come out to DC with me, and like introducing them to like the gay culture and the world that I was in at that time. My biggest lessons that I want everyone to know that could be struggling, going through the process in their own journey, is that no matter what, I want everyone to know that you are loved, and there's a community out there that will accept you and embrace you. And even if you feel like you're not around that community right now, you will find them no matter what. If you are being bullied, or if you are being made fun of for who you are or who people think that you are. I want you to know that their hurt comes from them and not you. They're making fun of you because of their own insecurities. Focus on you and focus on your good friends and focus on the family that loves you in and outside your own home. You're gonna be good. I think that it's really cool nowadays to have people like me or other kind of role models to look up to and be able to chat or talk to. And I'm always here for you guys if you ever need anything. I super appreciate getting messages from you when you're struggling, because I've probably been through it. And I'm happy to help you guys in whatever way I can. Please comment below if you like this. Anything else you guys want to know, I want to know. I love you guys so much, and I really appreciate you watching this and following along on my journey. And you know, though it's hard to share these messages, it's like another weight coming off my shoulder, and I hope that you guys can do the same with me. Don't forget to subscribe, like, follow. I love you guys. Mwah.